Hey everyone, we are back and we are here with some round 6 action. Alright, so the match up today is Patrick versus Carl. If Patrick wins this, he pretty much solidifies his dominance of the standings, being in first place, and Carl is just, he's looking for something. He's looking for his first win. This will be actually the first match I cast of Carl, so this should be very interesting. The decks that these guys are bringing up, let me pull up here. So the decks are bringing, Pat is going to bring his Priest, Druid, and Mage, always with the Mage. And Carl's bringing Shaman, Druid, and Hunter, an interesting choice there. I'll give the guys the go-ahead. Alright, so standard rules apply. It's round 6 matchup. Second last match for these fellows in the standings in the round season 1. Alright, so for myself and Trevor and Greg, we're really rooting for Carl here, because if Carl is of no consequence to us if he gets points. I don't think he can reach us. But Pat is we're definitely neck and neck with Pat here, so let's see what happens. And as a result, I'm going to see what Carl's doing first person. First time I see him play actually as well. I haven't had the pleasure of casting one of his matches yet. Alright, so round 1, match 1, game 1, sorry. Carl is bringing Druid and Pat's got Priest, and just as a person who mains Priest, I'm going to give the edge to Carl here, because Priests have a really hard time against Druid, and it's pretty much the reason why you won't see a lot of them in the ranked ladder these days, is because Druid, Ramp Druid, and even combo-based Druids and stuff, they're very popular on the ladder these days. So naturally, it's almost a hard counter to Priest as a result, so it's not impossible. I used to win a lot of my matches against Druid, but these days it's a very tough matchup. Alright, so both players don't really have a great start. Not a great starting hand, which I actually will give
greetings.
a slight edge to Carl here for that. Though this is the same deck that Pat ran. It looks like it's a similar deck that Pat ran last time he got a match, round 4. Malagos, and he probably has Prophet Velen in there as well. Alright, so
The damned
Dark Cult to start for Pat here, first card played. And once again, Carl has no play. He's getting some bad luck on the draws there. Let's see if Pat gets himself a 3 or a 4 drop here. He gets neither, because so Velen and Malagos are both in hand. Not going to be a factor for a while. See if it ends up being a factor at some point. Alright, so Carl has a couple choices here. He could pilot a Shredder. He could Keeper of the Grove. I don't mind either play. Keeper of the Grove play is decent, though eventually the Shadow Priest will come into play to probably steal this. I don't mind the Shredder here. Obviously, it trades for free, basically, but whatever spawns could maybe finish off the Dark Knight. Or not. Haunted Creeper is not a bad one to have overall, though. If I'm Pat, I just heal this thing up and just play the patient game. The thing about the Priest, you gotta play reactionary. You can never really force the issue. Sometimes you can, but it's very rare. Alright, well, Druid of the Claw is always an amazing play. It's really hard to argue against a Priest. The 4/6 is just really annoying to deal with. No one card is very good at it. The Sludge Belchers are also a possibility, but you run the risk of them being able to do Shadow Madness or Shadow Word Pain, which is not a great play. Swipe, actually, I didn't think of that. Swipe would eliminate this threat entirely. And the buff goes to nothing. Don't hate that. I don't hate that play either.
Where shall I strike?
You'll take the safe play and just do the taunt. Holy Fire would be useful if it had 6 mana, but he doesn't. At this point, he really doesn't have that many good choices. Could Wild Pyro and Holy Smite and then run it into it, but that's not worth it. Thought Steal yields 2 very good cards, actually, and one that could help him trade right now. Wrath and Druid of the Claw. Sitting at 9 cards. Won't overdraw. Alright, on Carl's side, Shade of Nax, a bit late to the party. So choices here, he could Belcher. Next turn he'll lose the Haunted Creepers unless he uses it to trade now.
What to do?
This is pretty tricky though. Alright, so Keep It the Grove is one option, Swipe is another. I think Swipe is better kept for other things to deal with.
I must safeguard them.
I don't mind this play at all, because once again, usually a priest will have a hard time dealing with a board like this, but Wrath is definitely a good option to finish this off. Or he just Cabal Shadow Priest the Keeper of the Grove. It's a nice solid body to steal. And that's what exactly what he's doing.
Change your mind.
Alright. Like that, that's the turn. So Swipe here actually clears the board. You swipe this. You run this guy into this guy, that guy into that guy. He only has 1 health left, but still not a terrible play. Could also Ancient of Lore here and just kind of play the waiting game a little bit. Being able to see both hands, I would probably just go for the clear, even though he has the Wild Pyro play. Just because you have so much card draw potential here, and you're in no rush of dying. You really want a board presence to be able to handle Velen or Malagos. As soon as one of them gets dropped, just Wrath could be pretty deadly with either one of them on the field. Not an easy situation here. I will give Carl that.
Time waits for no
Belcher's usually never a bad play, and he'll opt for that. And he'll opt for clearing. Well, he might have just donated a Loot Hoarder, but again, he can't know that. If you're playing the odds of Pat having both Shadow Priests in his hand are not very high. But oh, he will go for the Wild Pyro play.
To play with fire?
Well, he'll sack this, but that was stolen. It doesn't really matter. So Pop goes to board, almost entirely. Draws a second swipe, very handy. So he'll just go for the heal play here. Decides not to burn into the spell to finish this off. Ah, another Keeper of the Grove. It's tempting to use this to finish this off, but I would hold back. Silence is such a key thing, and Druids only generally run the 2 Keepers. Maybe Hero Power, face. Hero Power and trade that in, and then maybe just Shade. The Belcher again's not a bad play. But you gotta kill this. This with a Priest is insane if you leave that alive. I think he'll opt to do it, yeah. So it leaves the board with just the Sludge Belcher. I don't mind that at all. So we're getting into dangerous territory where these big bombs might come into play.
I have no time.
Malagos will be really hard to deal with. There's Sylvanas. Silencing Sylvanas is probably one of the best bets to deal with her, without going too crazy with it. It is tricky. A lot of options here.
I wonder.
You probably want to prevent the donation of a Sludge Belcher. So he is going to use the Keeper, but for damage or silence, I would really hope it's silence in this case. On the flip side, Pat's starting to accrue some of the key spells that are really overpowered with Malagos and or Velen. Looks like he's hanging on to them for a while. So a couple options here. You could swipe. He only do one.
Time waits for no one.
Okay, he'll do this and use the Wrath. Could sack 5 damage for a card draw as well. But he'll opt to play the Shade, which I like better. If it can survive for the first turn, it's going to be fairly good here. Shadow Priest plays too good.
Let me change your mind.
So both keepers get stolen. The play I always love doing. It's the one advantage you get over a druid sometimes. Alright, Sylvanas play I don't mind. Looking at the board here, there's not really anything you can do about it. Plus you could finish this off, swipe and run the taunt into it, which wouldn't be too terrible.
I have no time for games.
And he's doing exactly that. Alright, so an interesting board to deal with. Oh, he opts to trade the Shade now. Interesting. Well, it does give him a full board to play with, so I don't mind that. Shadow Madness here sucks. Very well done. Well, 2 cards for 2 cards, it's hard to argue with that. Alright. So now Carl's in desperate need of getting some more cards. So, the first Ancient of Laurel will get dropped. Alright, another Shade of Nax. Might as well drop that bad boy too, even though he has a way to... There is a way to deal with it, for sure. But the Malagos play, or Malagod play, is coming. You can drop this and have it 7 damage Holy Smite. That is disgusting. And if I am Pat, I think I do that play. Malagos is really hard to deal with as a druid. Druid has no good hard removal. There it is! 8 damage. Pardon me. Spell damage plus 6 on the board. Gross. And then Velen next turn. Turn that into 6. Oh god. Does he have a way to kill it? To kill Malagos? You could charge that. At 7 damage, it's down the FOT. You could, but it's so inefficient, you'd probably just lose the game from just trying. I'm not liking, not looking as, I'm looking Carl's position here. I don't mind the Shredder and a Druid of the Claw play. There's not a good AoE here. But understandably so. Like this is 11 damage. This is... Oh, he already lost the one. Holy Smite. Okay, so the only thing he has in his hand right now is a Holy Fire. It only buffs the damage, not the healing, in case you're wondering. So he will just get rid of that one. He figures Malagos is a lost cause. I don't blame him either. Oh, Ysera as well. This is the ultimate greedy priest deck. The fact that Carl had a slow start is really hurting him here. And the card draw engine, or do you just drop? Oh, it ain't a Doomsayer. It's a good sign.
Is someone injured?
And Malagos gets healed up. Ooh, Crazed Alchemist.
Where shall I strike?
Oh, they got a Thought Steal kick in the teeth. Alright, Carl needs some good solid card draw here. That helps. They drop that for sure. That's more card draw. I don't know if you really want to use that now. You could sack the Shade of Nax for an extra card draw. Don't know if I'd love that. The Shade of Nax is kind of is one of his last aces in the hole. Unless he's got a lot of legendary bombs in the deck still.
What to do?
So he's gonna draw a card with it? Yeah. Oh, another Wild Growth. Well, he might as well. I would have probably just gone the Wild Growth instead. The 1 damage you're getting here. Mind you, you also get the 1 health, so maybe that's a more wise decision. Oh god, that's disgusting. A 7 damage Holy Nova. You thought Fame Strike was bad, folks. No, no, no. If I'm Pat, I'd drop Velen at this point. Drop Velen, heal up, draw another card, trade, get ultimate board presence. You'll have to draw the card first, which is smart. Another Shadowward Pain. He'll go for the Holy Nova play, though. More card draw, and 27 damage to everybody. Oh god, why? Well, we know how this game ends. Don't think Carl has any way out of it. No. He'll attempt to draw some cards, though. Could heal himself. Good help for the card draw, and that's game. Probably doesn't know this is coming, but it's coming. Well, game 1 is in the books, and once again, this crazy priest deck, this greedy priest deck, takes the game. If I'm Carl, I grab whatever the most aggro deck he has.
Not all wonder are lost.
20 damage Mind Blast. Disgusting. Alright, well played on both sides. Pat's deck. So, Carl has a Druid and a Hunter left. If I'm Carl, I pull out that Hunter deck and go ham. Because I don't see Pat's priest deck surviving a really aggro deck here. Alright, so Pat's on the board with yet another point in it, another game. Looking like he may go yet another match win, but Carl still has two lives left here to go. We shall see. Alright, so, and if Carl can end up being Pat's priest deck, then there's a Druid and a Mage deck to follow. We'll see what kind of shenanigans those are up to. So with that game win, Pat is now up to 19 points. Slowly catching up to Trevor and myself. Mind you, Pat did not play his match against Adam in round 5. They are going to play that, I think, Saturday, due to illness and travel concerns from Adam. And Pat wasn't feeling well either. They postponed their match, and we allowed that to happen due to the circumstances. In Season 2, we will have a pretty solid policy about late matches. We'll describe that later. But for now, just all for fun. So, since we had nothing written down, we let them have it. We let them have their way because of the circumstances.
The light shall bring victory.
All right, so he did go with what I thought he would do. He went for an aggro-based deck versus this priest deck. Now, Pat has a much stronger start than he did in his last hand, which will help him tremendously. Oh, double Northshire.
Is someone injured?
All right, game's catching up here.
Job's done.
Mad Scientist play.
I'll show them all.
Pat has a pretty cheeky play here where he could just Holy Smite it and then burn the secret, which wouldn't be bad. Alternatively, you could just drop the second Northshire. Oh, he'll just offer the heal, okay. Get his guaranteed 1 card draw. This is where Glaive Zuka comes in play, finishes off that. I don't really see any other good way. If you ever play against Priest, guys, those Northshire Clerics are usually their sole card draw engine. If they have more than that, then that's amazing, but typically they only run the Northshires for card draw, and they can draw them a ton of cards. Oh wow, that is greedy. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I would have traded in a heartbeat. Mind you, it does burn the Holy Smite, but see, Explosive Trap gets burned, and he draws yet more cards. So I would have preferred if he would have killed an Northshire right then and there. So that puts a damper on things. Now he has to kind of burn a Wolf Rider, or probably a Wolf Rider here. So he lost 2 extra cards. So he lost the explosive trap for basically nothing, and gave Pat an extra card draw as a result. And then he has to burn another card to try to deal with this Northshire. Alternatively, you just go face, and you just don't worry about it. Arcane Golem this early is dangerous. You're giving your opponent a tempo advantage, which is not to be trifled with usually. Now, is it greedy here? Okay, no, he trades here. I don't blame him on that. Depending what this card draw is, Shadow Madness does not help him. So at 5 mana, he probably drops the Drake. Yeah, drops the Drake and goes from there. Yeah, so if I'm Carl, so Carl can play super greedy and keep going face here, or he makes the trade. It depends on how his deck is built. So you're in Holy Nova range now. But I think he just goes ham. Oh, he does trade. Interesting. Alright. Strangely enough, Shadow Madness here is fantastic. Yeah, he'll get the beast as well. So he's now suffering a massive card disadvantage.
I will punch you down.
Thank you.
Alright, so... yeah, Leper Gnome, Eagle Horn Bow. Go town.
Job's done.
Gonna be hoping for some... I don't know how much card draw engine these Hunter decks tend to have, but so Mind Blast is kind of a dead card for now. Mind you, he has a combo in hand, so he can start by next turn dropping.
Is someone injured?
Yeah, this is looking tough. Animal Companion's never a bad choice. Hoping for probably Leok.
To my side.
Gets Leok, can kill the Northshire Cleric. Which he does. So the card draw engines are dead if that's the result. Yeah, he will do that. Just hero powered. Save the bow probably. Gain nothing by using the bow here. Holy Nova. Could be used to trade. You'll use Thought Steal first. What does he get? Ooh, Animal Companion. Gross. It's his own Leok. Oh, that's interesting. At this point, he could Crazed Alchemist here and trade. Or go face. I'd be very tempted to do, like, make this a 7-3 and just go crazy with that. Alright, so interesting play here is Unleash the Hounds. Could trade it. Could trade for the board. Combine it with a kill command. Or he just goes face with it. But you're playing as a priest who has 2 healing cards in his hand. I'm not liking the odds here.
I wonder.
So Carl's really in a bind here, because whether he goes aggressive or not, he's not killing him either way. But he will go for it. Alright, bring him down to 4. Fine Pat here, you definitely, I think you probably just play Holy Nova and heal. Yeah. And then he also has, so he has both Holy Novas. He has 9 extra healing in his hand, plus the hero power every turn on top of that, so I don't think the Hunter can rush him down unless he gets himself some key cards. If he gets his second Animal Companion, and he'll also do Holy Fire instead. It's a bigger burst, gets him higher up. So even the most powerful of cards that the Hunter can draw can't kill him in one shot. That's not what the card he was looking for. Yeah, this is looking dire for Carl here, even if the combo is not real. But yet it is very much real. Those 3 cards are pretty deadly. Mind you, it's two turns away. He has to drop Malagos first, then Velen, and then, well, Malagos in one turn, then the combo can happen the following. And I think that's what's going to happen here, folks. I can't see it any other way. The Priest got 2 card efficient, was able to hang on to a ton of cards, and the Hunter just burnt out. Just didn't have enough. He's not opting to go for combo yet. He's looking for a safer play here. Another safe play is to drop Velen and heal yourself with Velen. You heal yourself before a turn. It's pretty good. That's it. Like, the Acolyte of Pain is not the card he needed. Honestly, I don't think there was a single card in there that he could have done anything with. The game is over, for all intents and purposes. So, looking ahead, Carl will be down to a Shaman. Now, can a Shaman handle this? Probably. If it's a crazy Kel'Thuzad combo Shaman, it could be pretty fun to watch. Second Mind Blast. He could just win with the 2 Mind Blasts right now. Doesn't even need Velen at this point.
Not all. Well, are lost. Well played.
12 damage. Gross.
Well played.
Alright, so Pat's Priest deck. It's a crazy deck that would just not work on ladder. But it's working out in this season so far. It's a third win with it, I believe, I've seen. Alright, so Carl's down to his last deck. 2-0 for Pat so far, continuing his dominance. Now, we have seen several comebacks from down 2-0, so it's not over yet. The Shaman deck for Carl better be darn good. Alright. So can Carl bring it back? Can he defeat this crazy Priest combo deck? Let's find out. Game 3, here we go. So let's see what this Shaman deck's all about.
Shall bring victory.
Alright.
For Doomhammer.
Nothing surprising in that hand. Alright, so a decent start for the Priest here, for Pat. He's got the 2... Oh, hello. That's a starting hand if I ever saw it. Right, no showers to start here, no starting play for either player. Alright, so Carl can drop the Neutron, or he can go Hero Power, or yeah, he'll go Hero Power. It's the Healing Totem. Northshire Cleric, that probably gets dropped here, or he'll go straight for the Dark Cultist.
The damned stand ready.
Alright. I don't mind a Neutron here. A Neutron's pretty good. I would have preferred him last turn, to be honest, because then he could have played the Tinkertown Technician and got the 4/4 on the board. Now he's a turn behind and may not be able to get that at all. Because Neutron can be dealt with Dark Cultist and the Dark Cultist and the Holy Smite. Or you can just go for the heal. Oh, he'll just go for the second DC. Alright. So now he's got some plays. He can actually drop the Tinkertown, which I really suggest he does. It's just so good. I think there's no avoiding getting... Yeah, one of these is going to get the buff. You might as well just take out one of them with the Rockbiter and then drop Tinkertown. Or drop Tinkertown first, see what spare part you get. Yeah, it's not. You could drop the Whirling Zapmatic, but it's not a safe board to drop it on. It's a very weak card, unfortunately. All right, so he will go for the buff. He'll kill that and then buff this guy to ludicrous amounts. He still has Taunt is still up. Prophet Velen, not a very useful card to draw right now, but part of the combo in hand. So turn 4 play on this side. Probably kills this. And probably drops Northshire and gets a card out of it. Or you'll just heal up and ignore the card drop for now. Knowing that the Northshire would just be thrown to the wolves. Alright, so on this side of things, he could Rockbiter the Tinkertown and kill this, and it won't buff anything else. He'll opt for the card draw, though. I think I still would have preferred if you Rockbitered this. Kill this guy off. Leaving this guy alive. You have the Healing Totem out, which doesn't really matter in this case, but it does bode well. You also have the Fire Elemental turn next turn as well, so whatever he drops after killing it, if he kills it, it doesn't have much of a drop at all. So from our bird's eye point of view, this is an excellent play. And then he can drop Mech Warper if he really wants. Mind you, you're going to be encouraging a hell of a Holy Nova if you do this to drop these two guys. Mech Warper's not a bad play though. I wouldn't mind dropping him now. But he's playing it safe for now. I don't mind it. Okay. 2 Holy Smites, one's being used here for sure. No! Holy Nova. Interesting. Alright. That's the turn. Well, Azure Drake if I ever saw it. Oh!
Hurry up! Portals online!
I don't mind this actually. The Holy Nova's been burnt, so drop the mechs down. I like it. Not bad. Alright, well, the Rolling Zap-O-Matic is dead. More than likely.
I have no
Oh,
time for games.
Sylvanas. Interesting. Okay. So the play here is to make a taunt totem. Make a totem to hope for a taunt. Because this guy can spew out ludicrous amounts of damage. Don't think Fire Ellie's the play here. You just ignore Sylvanas and go face. You can drop an Azure Drake if you want. You can use the Whirling Blades for two extra points of damage. But honestly, I don't... He probably wishes he had a Hex right now. He doesn't. He's going to try to... attack with your minions first. But it takes the Spider Tank, which isn't the worst thing ever. But you should have attacked with something first. Well, thinking you don't know what he's going to take. So at least now he can trade. So that was a pretty costly turn. Well, goodbye, trader. Well, Shadow Priest play. Man, again, Patrick's being just so efficient with this Priest deck. And even in this case, what does Fire Elemental do for you? Kills that off, I guess. No Shadow or Death that I've seen this far. Holy Fire? That's one way to deal with it. It's like Pat seems to be able to counter everything that Carl's been doing in all 3 games so far. Ain't over yet, though, for our friend here. Mech Yeti's pretty good. Azure Drake, unfortunately, doesn't trade well, but you need the cards. Comic Master's a little late to the party. Unfortunately, this is just a perfect trade here. It's not even a trade, it's a free kill. Pat could drop his own Azure Drake. We can even drop Velen for crying out loud. Alright, Northshire makes a play now. Oh, this is looking gross. I'm just teasing Carl. The fun thing about Retributions is, the losing player can trigger the Retribution and potentially get up to 5 points, basically giving himself a match win with the points. But you're giving potentially the player who steamrolled you even more points possible. Like, they could get 3 more points on top of the 5 they already got. So yeah, the risk reward is greater in your favor when you trigger it. But you have to keep in mind that you're still giving the other player a chance to do even
My
more.
apologies.
Well played.
To play with fire.
Well, rip board. Oh, the greed is real. Small misplay there. Should have healed up his minions before they all died. But it doesn't really matter. The card advantage is disgusting. There's no way to get up around that. Carl is just going to be fishing for answers here, and Pat's already got a ton in the hand. Oh, and Thought Steal just a kick in the teeth.
I dream.
Ysera's also a kick in the teeth. Laughing Sister, alright. Lava Burst? Well, that doesn't do a whole lot for you, Carl. I don't see any way Carl gets out of this. I just don't. Like, the sickest of Deathwing plays would have to happen here. And even then, I just don't see it. That's pretty good, the Crackle.
Thank you.
Oh god, a Crackle with Velen was being wrong. Ha! Doomhammer. Oh, the salt is real here. That is just wrecking Carl here hard. Oh, and Ysera awakens just to add insult to injury. Power Mace, you're a little late to the party, bro. I think Carl should go out in style. You Power Mace, hit Ysera in the face, and then Lava Burst yourself for the honorable death. Please do it. Please do it. That's not how you do it. That's not how you do. Now reverse yourself. Yes. Suicide. Well played. You went down with honor. Retribution potential is our first chance since it's been implemented. Is it happening? Is Carl going to do this? Alright, it is happening. Retribution has been activated. Carl will claim Retribution against Pat. Can't play it right now, though, but it will happen. We'll let you know what the results are. So, the rules are... Pat can bring any deck he wants. It's another best of 5. It's a new match altogether. Pat can bring everything except Priest. And Carl can bring anything he wants again as well. It's best of 5. But that's the way it's going to work. So, new best of 5, Pat can bring anything but a Priest. And it's the same rules beyond that. It's a winner-take-all situation, though. So if Carl beats Pat, he gets 5 points. If Pat beats Carl, he gets another 3 points. Pat already got 5 points from this victory. He has another potential for another 3. To the detriment of the rest of us on top of the standings. Damn you, Carl. But this is awesome. We got our first Retribution, guys. Look forward to it. So, jumping at the standings, Pat is now up to 23 points, surpassing Trevor and myself, who haven't played our round 6 matches yet. But Pat also has his Retribution match to get more points. And he also passes his previous round match against Adam to complete as well. So Pat is smooth sailing here. He's a clear favorite for first place, I think, at this point. His potential points were already higher than everyone else's. It's gone even higher with this Retribution. So the rest of us have to keep winning just for a chance, to hope and prayer to try to catch Pat here. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. More round 6 action coming up for you guys, and stay tuned. The last 2 matches of Singleton are coming up soon as well. Looking forward to that one. Until then, have a good one, guys.